All right, good morning, third and fourth graders, or good afternoon. We have a special guest. It's William. I am going to be reading in lesson 2 today, the free market economy. We are going to be looking at supply and demand and how businesses determine what they are going to be selling. So you should be on page 422 in your books. Lesson 2, Free Market Economy. People in the United States have the freedom to start a business. When people start businesses, they hope to make a profit. A profit is the money left over after all the costs of running a business have been paid. So if you start up a business, most of the time you're doing it because you want to be making money, okay, which is called a profit. A free market economy. The United States has a free market economy. In a free market economy, people can make and sell any product or service allowed by law. The government does not tell businesses what goods to make or services to provide. So if you want to sell masks to people, you can do that. If you want to sell treats to people, you can do that. As long as you're abiding by what the people want you to be purchasing, abiding by what the laws are, people will purchase it. Okay, there's not a huge amount of restriction on you for business startup, unless it's something that, of course, would be illegal. Competition in a free market. To make a profit, business owners must offer goods and services that people want to buy. Businesses are often in competition with one another. Competition is a contest among businesses to sell the most goods or services. For example, bookstore owners compete with each other. Each one tries to sell the most books. Competition affects the prices of goods and services. Prices must be low enough to draw consumers from other businesses that sell the same good or service. However, prices must be high enough for the business to make a profit. So, for example, you might be able to buy books at Barnes & Noble, at half-price books, at, say, Target, Walmart. All those places sell books. And in order for Barnes & Noble and half-price books to stay competitive, they have to be able to have a good dollar amount on their books. So you don't want it to be too cheap that you're not going to make money, because as a business, you want to be making money, getting that money to come in to pay your employees and all that. But you also don't want your books to be so high that they go to a competitor. You want them to come to your store. So you have to be careful about the price you put on your product. It's good to have healthy competition. I'm going to turn the page, and I'm on page 424. Supply and demand. This is going to be mostly what your assignment is about today, so make sure that you're paying close attention to this. What consumers want helps business owners decide what to make or sell. Consumers' wants create a demand for or willingness to buy goods or services. The product and services that businesses provide are the supply. So the demand is their willingness to buy it. Do you have a high demand for it, like right now, or at the beginning of this COVID-19 stuff? Everybody was going to buy toilet paper. There was a huge high demand for it, but unfortunately the supplies, the products, there wasn't enough to accommodate everybody, so some of it started to run out on us. And now that it's kind of calmed down, when I went to the grocery store yesterday, I noticed that more toilet paper is coming back in stock. So slowly they're rebuilding the supply. But the demand was so high at first that they couldn't keep up with it. Okay, and it was an unexpected demand. If businesses expected, then they could prepare and make the correct amount. But this one was unexpected. Sometimes there is a high demand for a product or service. So like I just said, businesses offer a greater supply of it to meet the demand. For example, if a community has many pets, there will be a demand for pet care products and services. The demand for these goods and services will affect their price. So there is a chart that I'm going to put right up here that we'll talk about here. It says if consumers want more, that means it's a high demand and the prices will usually go up because you want it to be a little more expensive. That way it will deter some buyers, stop some buyers from buying it. Okay. If consumers want less, that's a low demand, so you lower the prices. Right now, gas is super low. People don't need it as much right now because they're not traveling as much. Gas prices can go down because of that, because they're trying to get the buyers. Businesses produce more, so that means that there is a high amount of supply and they need to try to get rid of it. So they're going to lower the cost to get that supply out. That's like if you go to a, say, Kohl's to buy some clothes for school, you'll notice that there's always a clearance section. That's usually them trying to get rid of the products that they already have too much of, that they don't need anymore, so they lower the price. Businesses produce less. That lowers the supply. That way, it's a higher price. So if you make less, you don't want to get rid of it right away or lose it all right away. So you're going to raise the price so that it's less attractive for everybody to go and purchase it immediately. Scarcity of products. Prices are also affected by the scarcity of a product. Scarcity means that the supply of a product is not enough to meet the demand for it. Suppose that a drought or a time of dryness destroys all the wheat crops. Wheat then becomes scarce and its price rises. So if there is something out there that people really need, but there's not a lot of it, then they're going to have to make the price higher because they don't want it to run out too quickly. So then less people will want to purchase right away because they need to make sure that it lasts. Okay, you're going to need to be checking out Google Classroom. You're going to be doing a supply and demand worksheet, so you need to look at the top of the worksheet where I'm going to be putting the definitions again for supply and demand. Read each of the scenarios and then mark whether you think it is a supply or demand issue on those. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye. Bye, William.